Good afternoon, this is the BritWres Roundup for September 17th. It'll cover a lot more than just today, but let's get straight into it. First up, the Progress Chapter 171, History, is written by the victors. This is one of the strongest Progress cards I've seen in a while. Tate Mayfair's on the rebound after losing to Eddie Dennis. Will take on the international export, one called Manders. This man throws a mean lariat, cowboy-esque. I saw him in a match against Luke Jacobs at WXW quite a while back, maybe a few months, and they killed it, so I'm excited to see Tate get his ass whooped. I briefly spoke on Eddie Dennis during Tate Mayfair's bit, but Eddie Dennis will challenge for the Men's World Championship of Progress. We've got a lot of titles defended on this show. 5, I believe. He will take on Luke Jacobs. Luke's not losing the belt. Luke will never lose the belt. Not one time, except for somebody maybe later on, but I'll address that when we come to it. Eddie Dennis should be a very fun match. Should be a match where the crowd gets a party hard. Another title match. The Defy Women's World Championship. We know they've got that partnership between Progress and Defy. Marina Shafir, who's part of John Moxley's new faction, whatever that's becoming on AEW television, she will take on the feuding Kanji and Nina Samuels. I expect these two to, at the next show, have some form of steel cage match, street fight. Something's got to end their feud. But I think, of course, Marina Shafir retains here. I don't think she's losing anytime soon. Mainly because these two will cost each other and because AEW won't let them. Just like one called Manders, Progress have brought in another international export in Ali Catch, even though she is a proud member of the 0121. I did the hand signal there, you didn't see it. Lizzie Evo is her opponent of choice. These guys are going to be facing a week later, I believe, at TNT. We'll throw the match graphic up now if I've got it. Whether that has any part to play in this match, we know it's been addressed on social media, so I thought I'd just chuck it in there as a little bit of a tidbit. Back to Progress action. Gene Money and Taichi Ozawa, the Damn Dirty Dog and the Damn Dirty Pup. I don't think that's his official name yet, but it should be, because Gene Money is Ozawa's biological father. Ozawa is Gene Money's biological son. So, it's the Damn Dirty Dogs versus the Shit Wolves. Lycos Jim. Kid Lycos lost his mask. Now lost the belt to Luke. He's not on the up and up. He's not doing great. He also lost a GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Championship match against Hayato and Yohei, the current Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. So he's not doing brilliantly in Progress branded shows, but let's hope he gets the win here, because nobody likes that Damn Dirty Dog anymore. Next up, in a match with hopefully less shenanigans than last time, Rio defends the Progress Women's World Championship against Emerson Jane. These guys competed in the past. It was, of course, interrupted by Nina Samuels. Let's hope she doesn't do it again this time. She has no reason to. She's already got a title match of her own. Maybe put it on before the title match, just so she hasn't lost the title match yet. But it should be a good one. It's not who I expected. I actually thought we'd see Shafir versus Rio. I did not think about the fact that she was the Defy Women's Champion. But this is the full match card. And, of course, we know Shafir already has a match. Now, the next contest, a double-header match announcement today to finish off the card. Paul Robinson defending the Progress Proteus Championship against Connor Mills. It's been a bloody affair every time Robinson has defended that championship. Let's hope it's an even bloodier affair and that Mills knocks him the fuck out. But from one bloody affair to hopefully an even bloodier one, the Smoking Ace Holes are challenging the Progress Tag Team Champions Sanity in a street fight. Finally, we had these two competing, of course, for the tag championships at Chapter 170. Wrestling never sleeps. But then a beach ball appeared. Sunshine Machine managed to insert themselves into the match. They took the pin to Sanity, who are still retaining your championships, and now the Smoking Aces get their proper championship rematch. I'm gonna have to go with the Smoking Aces. I don't think Sanity are kind of together enough to be tag champs, in my humble opinion. It's not humble at all. I'm very arrogant, but I'm going new champs here. The only championship change we'll see tonight, I believe. And finally, the last match announced today. This one will be match of the night. This one will have the crowd heavily invested because it is the return after 1 year, 4 months and 29 days of the Black Swan, Cara Noir. Cara's our champion. Chants rang out across the Electric Ballroom on the 23rd of April 2023 when the foot of Cara Noir, I believe it was a tendon in the foot, the career of Cara Noir ended. Nobody thought that he'd be coming back to wrestling, and quite frankly, it was quite a freak injury. He's been out for over a year now, but he steps back through those black and white ropes of the Progress ring to take on Yoshiki Inamura, who has had banger after banger against the likes of Axel Tisha, against the likes of Ricky Knight Jr., against the likes of Luke Jacobs in Manchester. He lost that match to Luke, but still, it was in Luke's hometown, so I feel like that we're owed the rematch at some point. Now, a lot of Progress fans may recognise Inamura as Yoichi, from his past excursion with Noah. We saw him this weekend on the Noah tour as well, hosted by Progress. So this one is the people's main event. Whether it main events, that it is in contention for the main event, I'd say, personally, because this is such a special match to the people. Their champion, their man, Cara Noir, one of the most interesting characters. He returns to the ring, and I can't wait. So there you have it for the Progress side of the BritWres Roundup. Coming up next, we take a look at the Super J Cup. And the final segment of the BritWres Roundup, it's the miscellaneous section that I really want to talk about from British wrestling. There's so much going on, but here are some of my personal picks, starting off with RevPro Wrestling Thunderbrawl. This is a 5-match card including a number 1 contendership rumble featuring 30 people for the GPW Heavyweight Championship. Now, the Thunderbrawl Rumble, whatever you want to call it, it's quite an interesting concept. We've got a few announced names so far, including Rob Drake, Deadly Damon Lee, Martin Kirby, Ian Skinner, Joey Hayes, Isaac North, Sandy Beaches, Matt Brooks, Dylan Roberts, and Tom Thelwell. As well, there'll be 9 unannounced wildcards and 6 losers from the title matches. We'll get into the rest of the match, but the losers of the title matches go into the Rumble, which I think is quite a neat concept, as well as 9 surprises. That's more than you get in the actual Royal Rumble. Confirmed as the main event, we will now get into the actual title matches. Every match on this card, bar one, is a title match. All of them have title entry. Joe Blazer was finally going to get his shot at the British Championship against Mickey Barnes. We saw him best Dylan Roberts in the King's Court match to determine the actual true number 1 contender. There's a lot of lore to catch you up on, but Joe Blazer, now the owner of GrandPro, has issued an open challenge on behalf of Mickey Barnes. I'm sure he didn't want to, because he's probably going to want to win the Rumble. If he's even in it, we'll have to wait and find out. But to any non-contracted GrandPro wrestler not on the roster can answer the open challenge of Mickey Barnes for the British Championship. Should be very fun. As well, here are most of the title match losers. Here's where they're going to come from most likely. Jacob North and Steve Inman are going to take on the Austins, who are the defending tag team trophy champions. They just have a trophy at GrandPro. It's not actual belts. I don't know the lore behind that. I've only just got into GrandPro within the last year or two, since their resurgence. They'll also be taking on Johnson and Cross and Rio and Jackson. It's all the culmination of a big feud, if I remember correctly. It's 3 villains versus the faces in the Austins, which could be quite interesting considering I don't think we've ever had a 4-way match where 3 of the participants are heels. But yeah, six losers there'll be in this match, it seems. So that means that some of these losers won't go on to wrestle later on that night, because they can't all wrestle if there's only 6 title match losers. So we'll have to find out who they are. As well, a 1 versus 30 match, I find another interesting concept by GPW. Always love their kind of concepts for matches. They've got some brilliant ones. They're mainly storyline focused, but they've got some pretty big names on this show as well within the British scene. So the loser of this match, it's pretty self-explanatory. Loser goes in at number 1 into the Rumble, and the winner gets that coveted number 30 spot. Martin Kirby's a heel, which he is. If anyone has ever been to Mega Slam, he plays a heel there. But he's joined Feel Good Media Limited Inc. I believe I've got that correct. It's a long title, but Chase Alcalcer, I have definitely not got his name right. The Martini God is the leader of that kind of faction. Martin Kirby betrayed Joey Hayes last show, and now they're going to settle their beef with even more stakes because the winner's almost getting a guaranteed world title match. And speaking of the world, and then the kind of biggest match I'd say that we know every participant of course, the Thunderbrawl Rumble thing is the most fun of all the possible matches we can see. But Gradwell takes on RPD in a title versus career match. How this came about 2 shows ago, RPD collapsed on the top rope, was challenging Gradwell so that he could pick up the win after RPD literally collapsed, and pretty much RPD was classed as a bit of a risk to the company, I believe. So at the last show, the owner of GPW came out and he unfortunately said that RPD is no longer cleared to wrestle at Grand Pro. I think because of the concussion. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the last show, so I've only seen clips. They're not great at their usage of. I still haven't been able to watch the last show, but I've seen on Twitter, and I believe that his last he's getting one last chance to prove that he can still wrestle for GPW. He's staking his career on the line. If he loses, he'll leave. If he wins, he'll be champion, which doesn't really address the security risk of him collapsing, but I may have got that wrong, so I'm not going to take the piss out of him too much because it'll come right back in my face. But yeah, that's the Thunderbrawl card. Very excited for that. I think this could hypothetically main event, or maybe the Thunderbrawl will. Who has a clue? Of course, the 6 title match losers, it'd make sense if this was before the Rumble, but also if RPD is to lose, he won't have a career anymore, so he won't be able to enter the Rumble. But that is it for Grand Pro. Moving on to Futureshock Wrestling. The Man Beast returns to Futureshock for a double-header show on October 19th. This one should be good. Jacob North, not who I would have expected to win the 4-way match, challenge the Man Beast Rhino one-on-one. Of course, that match consisted of Jacob North, Tony Wright, Joe Blazer, and Lee Dawson. It was a pretty good match, I must admit. And Jacob North probably has a better goal than Rhino. You'll hopefully be able to see it. I'll possibly try and get some clips from that show when it happens. Of course, I can't put them up now, we're a month away. But it's going to be a good one. That's the first half. But the second, it is Extreme Rules, as Tony Wright teams with Joe Blazer and Rhino to take on Conor Riley, who is the current Futureshock World Champion, because he's a genius and he cashed in the perfect time to retire Chris Egan and take the title off Blazer. So Blazer's getting a little bit of his lick back on that man that they call the genius. They being me, and that's about it. He will also be teaming with Jacob North and Stephen Cross in Extreme Rules. And that one is a signature match type of Rhino. I'm sure we'll see tables. It'll be like a classic no DQ, street fight, whatever you want to call it. So it should be a lot of fun. Thank you for listening to me waffle for so long. This has been the first of many of the BritWres Roundup. Goodbye.